If you can remember back to a month ago, I talked about private Genshin servers in a really vague way. This was done to protect myself from getting nuked by Hoyoverse, and as some sort of protection for you all, just in case there was an impending bandwidth for private server users, despite how unlikely that is. But it has been enough time. If they had some way to detect that they weren't detecting any information from the private server clients, my main account would have already been banned by now, and the private server project would have been shut down. Considering that I still play on official Genshin Impact servers semi-regularly, and the private server team is now working on a 2.0, I think Hoyoverse can literally do nothing to stop private servers, except for maybe nuking me off the face of YouTube, and finding the source of the private servers with what I disclose in this video. Wait, I don't think I thought this all the way through. Regardless of how uncertain things might be for me for making this video, I'm back to answer the questions that I get notifications for over and over and over and over. And from my past experience, I know no one actually reads comments, so I answer the frequently asked questions about private servers here. I'd rather possibly die and answer the questions and lead people to the right place than have them accidentally wander into the clutches of someone malicious. First of all, who made the private servers? Where is the Discord? And where can I join one? Well, I tried to make it as easy to decode as possible in the previous video, as searching for Genshin Impact Grasscutter GitHub on Google would show their GitHub where you could download the server kit to host your own private servers and learn how to join servers. I mean, officially this isn't Genshin private servers, but an emulation of a certain anime game. Also, the link to their Discord is in the GitHub, so just use your eyes and reading comprehension to find it. However, I don't really recommend joining servers of people you don't know or completely trust, as there's a ton of security issues with private servers and how open they are, although this is a general tip for any private server for any game or product. It is best for you to make your own private server with the code from the GitHub and then invite your friends to join it for multiplayer. It will save them the trouble of setting up the server, along with all the computer skill issues that come with it. So go be that Giga Chad and create a private server and absolutely destroy Teyvat. Also, side note, it's possible to use private servers on mobile devices and on PlayStation. However, I'm woefully uninformed how to get Grasscutter working on these devices, but they should work more or less the same as the PC version, and I'm fairly certain that they need a host PC to run the private servers. I'm fairly certain that the devs Discord does have guides on how to join private servers on mobile and PlayStation, so that's just another reason to check them out if you use these devices to play Genshin. So how do you create and host a private server? Well, when I made the original video, there were a lot of different tutorials and PDFs going around, giving the files needed in different ways and using different programs to run the server. As of now, there are less conflicting guides that can give a pretty definitive tutorial on how to set up your own server. Check it out, link in the description. Oh, you wanted me to do a video tutorial? I'm not really that interested in doing it, and there are tons of out there if you really need one, but basically you'll need MongoDB, and more importantly Java Development Kit 17. You can find links to download both of them in the tutorial. Also, other versions of Java will not work and will cause a ton of errors. Make sure that you're using JDK 17 for all your Java needs for the server. If you have any more questions on setting it up, read through the devs Discord and ask in the support channel. You can find links to both of them in the GitHub. I know it may be overwhelming with all the things you have to do, but just follow the guide and you should be fine. It holds your hand pretty well. Also, make sure you're using the correct version of Java to decompile. Remember, JDK 17, not your currently new updated version of Java. So can you get banned for using private servers? I would like to say no with 100% certainty, and I'm fairly certain that you will not get banned, but who knows how intrusive the anti-cheat of Genshin really is, and if they're using it more than just for anti-cheat. It is very, very unlikely that you'll get banned from using private servers. As of the making of this video, there have been 0 cases of anybody being banned from Genshin Impact for using Grasscutter private servers. I am no expert on the subject, however, from what I understand on how private servers work, since it redirects any internet traffic your Genshin client would send to Hoyoverse into the private server, it's very unlikely Hoyoverse even knows that you're using a private server. For all they know, you never even opened Genshin Impact. There's practically no risk to your account at all, assuming you did set up Grasscutter correctly. There is a slight possibility that a ban could happen in the future if Hoyoverse does add the private server files into the checks of cheats for the anti-cheat, although this would only result in a ban if the anti-cheat actually invades your privacy and searches through your hard drive. After more than a month and an update, this hasn't happened yet, and it seems very unlikely that you would get a ban. However, the possibility is still non-zero. If this small risk bothers you, then don't use the private servers. Or just use a different device than the device that you use for your main account for private servers. They can't ban your main account if your main account never logs in with the evidence. But yeah, if you really care about your account, probably don't take the risk, as now there's not that much in the servers other than screwing around with the code to risk losing your account over. Private servers are against Cognosphere's terms of service for Genshin Impact. It's stated in Section 2, Subsection 3, Clause 7, you acknowledge to confirm that you may not either directly or indirectly do or attempt to do any of the following actions with respect to any or all of Cognosphere services. Copy, reproduce, adapt, reverse engineer, decompile, disassemble, or otherwise create derivative works based on any of Cognosphere services. Basically, you're not allowed to touch Genshin's files for anything. However, no one actually follows Cognosphere's TOS and it's not really enforced. Like, did you know that making Genshin hentai is against terms of service? So like, most of Genshin fan artists should be banned. Not to mention, private servers are as much as against the terms of service as extracting music from the game, since both are touching the files in a way that you signed off as not allowed in the terms of service. The real question you should be asking yourself is not, will I get banned? It should be, do I really want to go through all the trouble of setting up a private server? Something to do with main accounts? I'm not even sure what these people are even asking. I'm pretty sure all these questions dealing with things affecting your main account are people legitimately confused on how private servers work. Nothing in the private servers affect proper Genshin servers, and nothing from the legitimate Genshin servers affect the private servers. It's best to think of them as two different games altogether, just two identical games. In fact, to play on a private server, you need to make a whole new Hoyoverse account through the server console, so even if legit Genshin servers could see the private server, you would be a different person than your main account in the eyes of the server. So no, nothing in the Grasscutter private servers affect your main account. And so in a private server, how do I do X, Y, and Z? Well, I think there's a document on GitHub, but I will try to explain the more simple things here on what you can do with admin commands. Before you even start doing commands, however, you need to check some things. First of all, you need to check the server information to see if your account has been approved as an admin. The account's permission should be set to the value asterisk. If the account you're using was the first account made in the new private server, then you don't really have to worry about this since it should have already been configured. The admin commands are all done in-game through the chat menu. When loading into the server, you should get a message from the server in the in-game chat that you can reply to. This is the input method of admin commands. Actually, I think inputting the commands anywhere works as an input location, it's just that this one will always be available. The commands consist of what you would expect out of a dev console commands in Genshin. You can set the world levels, the player items and characters, and spawn things to fight, along with the standard teleporting, god mode, and kill commands. There is a long document out there that shows all the commands along with the IDs for all the items and NPCs. I will be putting that into the description. Trust me, you're gonna need it. If my memory serves right, you can also generate this list in the Windows console when you launch the server, but I forgot how to do that and I don't want to relearn. But essentially, the chat menu is your best friend for all the simple things. For some of the more drastic changes like invalid weapon usage or extreme party sizes, you have to edit what the server thinks that the profile you're playing has on MongoDB. For example, to get a larger than normal party size, you have to tell the server that account ID 1 has a party of Hu Tao, Raiden Shogun, Traveler, Razor, Barbara, Venti, and Childe. Now when you load the account, the game will say that account actually has this as its team, and somehow the UI actually kinda supports it. That's actually how most of the basic Genshin modding works. Just take things from one part of the game and tell the server to apply to other parts of the game, be it weapons or Hu Tao's dash, and even model swaps if you know how to use other external tools. And finally, story mode and if it works. I think this is the most asked question about private servers after banning. As far as current development goes, no, you cannot do story mode or missions in private servers. However, this could change in the future. Quests are handled by the server and nobody has gotten them to work consistently. Yet. Genshin server emulation is still pretty new and developments are still being made every few hours. So no, Grasscutter private servers are not a replacement to actual Genshin. It's more of a sandbox creative mode version of Genshin Impact. The servers are for people who want to see the world of Genshin, push the game to its limits, and is not a direct competitor. If this changes, I will likely make a follow-up video about it to show off more of the new features that are made in time between now and the quest release version. If I'm not assassinated by Hoyoverse by then. Hopefully that clears everything up behind the Genshin Impact illegal private servers. You are highly unlikely to get banned, you can't do story mode, and everything that you need to know to host or join private servers is through the dev's GitHub. Make sure you actually read the GitHub and only bother somebody if you really are lost after reading it. And I can stress this some more. Make sure you have the right version of Java installed. JDK 17. Any other version of Java will not work. And finally, may Hoyoverse have mercy on my soul.